Hello and welcome to this video. In this video I'll be showing you how to make some plantain chips. For this video I'm going to be using ripe plantain, so we're making ripe plantain chips, but it's the same process to make the unripe one as well. So you're going to be needing your ripe plantain, your slicer. This is the slicer that I have, your knife, so I have this pepper, and the reason for the pepper is just because I might decide to make some a tiny bit, just a little bit spicy. And then of course you need your colander and your frying spoon and the oil of your choice, and then the frying pan. Yeah, so we're going to get started now. The first thing we're going to do is peel our plantains. We've peeled our plantains and we're going to fill up our pan with oil. So this is like a very, very important part. Filling up the pan with oil, you need a lot of oil. You don't want it to sink to the bottom. Just like making puff puff, you want enough oil so that your plantain will float properly. Just like when we're making puff puff, that we need a lot of oil in there. So I'm going to add more oils to this one, and then we will start frying. I filled my plantain and I'm waiting for my oil to get hot. For the oil, we don't need to be stingy with our oil. We need to put a lot of oil. It's like you're making akara or you're making puff puff. You need lots of oil when you're frying your plantain. So while your oil is heating up, get your slicer and be ready. Another thing that is good to note is that when you're frying plantain, making plantain chips, you don't want to peel. Depends on the quantity you're making, obviously, but you don't want to peel too much and leave it to wait while you're frying. You want to kind of peel and fry as you go. So if you're making like a big batch, if you're making like a whole box of plantain, it's not a good idea, especially for the ripe one. It's not a good idea to peel all of it and then start frying. It's a good idea to peel maybe a quarter of the box and then the next quarter, like that. So this is my oil. I think it's a bit hot now, but again, I want it to be a bit hotter just because I don't want it to soak oil. There's nothing worse than plantain chips that soak oil. A tiny piece inside just to see how hot the oil is, and I'm happy with the level of the heat. So I'm just going to go ahead now and start slicing the plantain into it. Okay, so I'm going to start slicing. My slicer has locked 1, 2, 3. I'm using the second one, not the first one, and start. So see, it goes into the pan really, really quick. You have to be careful with your fingers though, because this thing is really, really sharp and it has cut me more than one time. Again, so using this, it depends on how thin you want your plantain to be, because this has different cuts. If I wanted it to be thinner, I'll go here. It's locked. And now this one is really, really thin. But yeah, I don't want it to be this thin. So I'll go back to my second one. And cut. So towards the end, you go really, really slow, or you can use this bit of it and then you put the plantain on it and then go that way. That works as well. Slice all 3 inside, and this is what I have. And now I'm going to let it fry. Another thing, a really important part, is the frying. You want to stir it, but you don't want to stir it too much. You want to give it time to fry and then stir. Does that make I'm not going to say that again. So after this, I'm going to give it time to fry. So when you have it like this, stir it a bit, and then relax and wait again. It's been frying for about 10 minutes now, and it looks like it's ready. Another thing with this plantain is that if you leave it to fry proper on the stove, what happens is when it comes out and it gets and it cools down, it becomes darker. So you want to take it off before it gets dark on here. And so you can see it's still really soft. Oops, I'm not going to put my hand in there. I'm just going to let it fry for a bit more, and then I will take it out. I will show you what it should look like before you take it out. So this is it now. It's fried, probably even burnt, but still works. It's still soft, like it still looks soft. Don't be afraid, do not worry, we are right on track. So just going to offload them in here. Another thing that's really important is to make sure your plantain is not too soft. Okay, so we are taking it off from the fire now. It looks really soft, but that's fine, that's not a problem. Just want to get them off the stove really quickly, and then while it's, and then we'll go to the next step. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is get your plantain and put it in here. See that? That's because it's the ripe one. It's really ripe. Just want to give it space, because the more it airs out, the drier it will become. I think there's one here that's a bit, let's see, it turns harder now than the rest of it. So I'm going to do that for the rest of them. So this is what we have now. I've aired them all out, and like what I was saying about if you leave it on the fire for too long, it ends up becoming really dark, and that's what has happened to these ones. As they air out, they get darker. But that's this. And if you look at the ones that I started doing before, they are getting crunchier. Yes. So we just want to wait until the rest of them are all aired out. See, there's a difference between this one and this. Okay, no. And this one. Yeah, so I'll still show you what it looks like after a few minutes. So after a few minutes of it resting, this is what it looks like. I'm going to leave it to rest a bit, but yeah, see? And that's it. Your plantain chips is ready. You can sit down and snack on it and chop on it and enjoy yourself, basically. Just do whatever you like. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you find yourself in a random crave of plantain chips, you can just get plantain from the kitchen pantry and make one very quickly. Thanks for watching. Bye.